Book club number 6, Dr. Miller with a book I think you find valuable when you're looking at mobility and stability challenges, especially if you're into the sport of Olympic-style weightlifting. But these things, these movements apply to anybody. And so this book is by Dr. Henoch called Weightlifting Assessment and Optimization. It's also in line with, if you're familiar with Catalyst Athletics, Coach Everett, and his book series pertaining to the sport of weightlifting. What I like about this book, and so let's talk about it real quick. What I like about this book is many times in strength conditioning and weightlifting and just general movement, if you're into fitness at all, we can identify problems, right? We can say, I can't squat right, okay? Or I'm having a problem with my squat. My hip hurts when I squat, so on and so forth. And so we might take on some challenges to overcome hip mobility, perhaps. So challenges meaning some exercises, some things that we try to work in. But is it really your hip? What tends to happen in the human body many times is that the ankle causes a problem with the hip causes a problem with the ankle, and then they both cause a problem in the lower back. Causing a problem could mean too little mobility or too much mobility or weakness or instability or all of the above. Okay, well, maybe not all of the above, but I mean a mixture of one of these variables at each joint, or a mixture of a couple of them potentially. And so this book does a nice job of filling in the gap of, one, trying to figure out what is really the problem. So instead of just saying, well, my hip hurts, it must be my hip, you may do some assessment that's part of the book and find out it's actually your ankle. And so, this is kind of drilling down, this idea of drilling down. Any coach that starts out could say, well, I don't think that was a good snatch or a good clean and jerk or a good squat or whatever. But the next question is, well, how do you fix it? That's the big question. And I use the word fix kind of loosely there, but how do you address the problem? How do you help somebody with their patterning? And this book can, one, again, provide some assessments to figure out what might be the greatest issue to start with. And then two, what to do. That's the biggest part. What to do about it. What to do if your ankle mobility isn't very good. What to do if your lats are too tight. What to do if your squat pattern is fouled. Again, the sequence of events that can take you to trying to doing some diagnostic work to figure out what's going on, and then do something about it. Then taking these exercises, which aren't terribly cumbersome, and promoting them in a warm-up routine. So you can do a nice job of taking the information out of this book and building a good warm-up that you can use every time you train. Again, it's specific to weightlifting, the sport of weightlifting, snatch, clean and jerk. But this information in the book can apply to just movement in general. So as a weightlifting coach, I found the book extraordinarily valuable in building an own mobility kind of format, a menu for my athletes. That one that I'm still working on fleshing out completely. But the problem I had when building that menu was that the book does a good job already. So it's just like, well, just go buy the book, right? I mean, I'm just, if I build a menu for my team, I'm basically just regurgitating what's already been done very, very well. The book's written by a PT, by the way, doctor of physical therapy, which just because somebody has a credential doesn't mean they're a brilliant person. But when you read the book, you can see that this individual, Dr. Henoch, has a grasp, and doesn't need my approval, but he has a grasp on human movement. So I would highly recommend this book for anybody that likes to move, right? Especially with the barbell. So weightlifting, powerlifting, just general fitness. The book has a lot of pictures. So it shows, not just explaining things and showing and talking about assessments, but it has pictures that show how to do the assessments. And then obviously there's a progression to what to do next, right? There's suggestions on how to literally and figuratively move forward in moving better once you kind of do that diagnostic work and figure out what might be a limitation. And so again, highly recommend for anybody that wants to move. I certainly recommend this, and would highly, highly, highly recommend this for any coach, fitness professional, certainly any weightlifting coach out there. And I say coach, I mean any coach that might be involved with athletes using the barbell. So I mentioned a weightlifting coach as a sport coach / strength conditioning coach, but powerlifting, strength conditioning coach at any level, again, a sport coach that is just training athletes in the weight room. I think for any professional in the field, this should be something you have on your shelf. I really feel that strongly about it. And then, again, for folks that are just looking to move better, there's some other options as well for, like Supple Leopard's a good book. But this one's a little, I think, I like this one a little bit more than Supple Leopard, just because the presentation of it is a little more straightforward. I think Supple Leopard's a great book too, but this one is a little less textbook-y and a little bit more Rubber meets the road, even though it has the background information, it does a good job. Now, again, specifically for weightlifting, Olympic-style weightlifting, but don't view it that way. It's just limited to that group alone. Okay, so highly recommend this book for the reasons I just spelled out in this video, and I will see you in the next book club.